Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Keegan. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave your opinions down there in the comment section. Globelamp. The Orange Glow. Globelamp is the solo project of Elizabeth LaFay, who is an American singer and songwriter who was previously in a few psychedelic indie bands such as Meowton and Foxygen. I had never heard of her before I got this viewer suggestion, but she has been around for nearly a decade at this point when I'm recording this, as her first project in general was the self-titled Globelamp EP back in 2011. This album is her second and most successful album LaFay has released under the Globelamp alias, also being her first album released under a fairly big label, Wichita Recordings. I had no idea what to expect from this album aside from, oh, maybe it's just another boring indie rock / pop album with a few psychedelic elements to it, and as per usual when judging an album before going into it, I was wrong. Let's start this review off with the opener, Washington Moon, which really feels like a drug trip, like trance almost. The instrumental is very woozy and hypnotizing, just with a quiet electric guitar and very gentle percussion. And it also never stays at the same tempo. That's another signature of Globelamp with a lot of the songs in this album. Her vocals almost sound like they're drenched in reverb, but instead they're recorded twice and overlaid on top of each other, which really adds to the wooziness of this song. Also, the way she pronounces her words makes me feel like she's singing in a fake British accent, because she says words like Roy, Time, and Troyd, which continue on most of the songs on this album. This is probably one of the best songs here, though. Controversial / confrontational sounds like it has a lot more attitude and flair. The instrumental is a bit more dense this time around, sounding like a full band with this punk influence, probably harkening back to the days where she was in Meowton. Lyrically, the song is clearly a bitter breakup song. It's not even trying to be subtle with some of these lyrics, even straight up admitting that men cannot be trusted. This song is a lot more captivating to me than Washington Moon. It's a fun song. The Negative is a bit more of a slower song, but it still retains a lot of the attitude of the last song. This track is also pretty long, getting fairly close to 5 minutes, which is a long time to be dragged through a song at this tempo. We've also got some nice la-la-las at the end, but with her accent it sounds more like lo-lo-los. Lyrically, this song is simply about blocking out the negative, although with a lot more philosophic metaphors. The tempo never stays the same, her vocals are still very trippy, and it's a fine song. Moonproof is even longer than The Negative at 5 minutes and 10 seconds, and this song really just feels like background noise on a more casual listen. Faye's vocals are still very trippy and woozy, and the instrumental is still very scant. Lyrically, this song is all over the place. It feels more like a frantic mind rather than a concise thought like the other songs were. I do enjoy the strings blending into the instrumental though. It almost feels like the most emotional song so far, but it's just not enough of a presence to keep my attention for repeated listens. Artist / Traveler is also this emotional song, bringing in this soft, soothing piano. This song is pretty catchy. It's got an engaging chorus and it almost feels like a ballad in a way. LaFay's vocals feel a bit more secluded on this song, which I think is for the better. Lyrically, this song is how art is a very expressive concept, regardless of which kind of art it is. And the real point of it is to connect with the mystery behind it. The song is also pretty enjoyable. Don't Go Walking in the Woods Alone at Night is extremely repetitive, and I don't even really see this as a proper song. It feels like an interlude. The instrumental is just as bare as most of the songs here, but this time the lyrical content is also extremely bare bones. Even at only 3 minutes, this chorus just drags on and makes the song feel like an eternity. This one's a no from me. The title track, The Orange Glow, is also extremely repetitive, but this time around, it's a whopping 5 minutes long, with very bare choruses and verses. The instrumental this time is pretty emotional. The piano is back around this time, and LaFay's vocals sound aching and torn, but her accented inflections make it feel less sincere for me. This one really feels like it just goes on with no progression. It's not as experimental as the other songs, and it's pretty boring. Probably my least favorite on this album. Invisible Prisms isn't as bad as The Orange Glow, but it's still not an okay moment for me. My main problem is the length. It's the longest song on this album at nearly 5.5 minutes. However, this song is a bit more engaging because it's got a lot more content in the verses, despite the chorus being the same title name repeated over and over again, and the fluctuating tempo is also back. If this song were a fair bit shorter, then I would probably like it a lot more, but as it is, it's just way too long to fully enjoy. Master of Lonely is a little bit of a boring song in the context of this album. It's very similar sonically to the first few songs, but it's just a lower quality. I mean, it's still catchy with its percussion and changing tempo, but it's not as significant of a track as, say, Washington Moon was. Lyrically, the song feels like a breakup song, and how she's used to being lonely, which is why she calls herself the Master of Lonely. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not really a captivating song for me. Unlike Piece of the Pie, which is probably the standout song from this album. It's a full, heavy, punchy rock song, and I love it. This just feels like the earlier songs again, but so much more, especially instrumental-wise. As previously mentioned, it's almost like a full rock band is performing this, and LaFay's attitude on the song is very enjoyable. Lyrically, the song is extremely bitter, asking how do they sleep with themselves at night, and how do you live with the lies you've told? The song's very powerful, and also emotional at the same time. I really like this song. San Francisco is a very unique song, being about her fallout with Foxygen, and even the video for this song was shot in the same location, which is even mentioned in the lyrics, where she sings, "Be the star of my video, and this girl's gotta go." There's a lot of layers here to unravel, especially musically. 1 minute we get a tambourine breakdown, next we go to piano and guitar. It's very interesting and captivating. This one's another standout moment. Finally, the closer, Faerie Queene. It's very quiet and very pretty fitting as the closer. Lyrically, the song has a lot of nature, fantasy feelings to it, mentioning watching dreams and embers lighting up the night. I just get a lot of Peter Pan feeling from this song, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It changes tempo a few times, but it still doesn't feel as woozy as the first few songs. It's a nice closer, but it doesn't feel like an overly special send-off. Overall, while I did say some negative things in this review, I'm still very happy and content with this album. It really is just a one-woman show, and really feels like a lot of passion went into this album, which I can absolutely respect. If you want to check this album out, be warned, it's a very niche sound. If what I've said positively about some of the songs on here intrigues you at all, then please give this album a listen. You won't regret it. I know I didn't, even though there were some moments here that didn't really resonate with me. I'm feeling about a 6.5 on this album. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.